Linwood, Oglesby, you were starting to touch on this earlier. I'm putting you on the spot here. Should the mayor be doing more for the arts and culture in Newark, and if so, what?
Absolutely. I'd love to see the mayor really take the arts on as one of his cause célèbre. When the mayor was running for office some years back, he pulled together a group of us to talk about the role that the arts would play in his administration. And unfortunately, we all know what happened with the economy, and we all know the depth of difficulties that the city has faced with its in terms of the economy and his capacity maybe to be able to deliver on some of those things that we had hoped to see. But as he's now preparing his exit plan, I would really be delighted to see him, really step up and say, this is one of those things that I had hoped to do more for during my terms here in the city, and I'm going to devote a sizable share of my attention now to creating a legacy through supporting the arts.
Whether it's with this administration or the next one, whoever it is, do the arts need an art czar within city halls, an advocate within that building?
Well, we certainly advocated for that at that time, and that was one of the things that we had certainly hoped would happen, that there would be a person there. I don't know if we'd call them a czar, but that there would be someone there. And I think we all knew then and believe now that the mayor really has the arts in his heart and understands what the arts currently do in the city and understand what they are capable of doing, because he travels around the country and around the world. So, anyone who travels at all, sees the role that the arts play in our cities. I think one of the things that has happened is that, because of the success that we've had with some of our major institutions, maybe there has been the sense that, well, the arts are okay, and I can focus on some of these other entrenched problems that we all understand. But I think what we're seeing now with the museum, and you mentioned the Historical Society, and certainly with others, is that the arts are not okay. And if they are not cared for, if they are not nourished, then they will go away also. And our
take with them, what was that figure? 100 million?
$127 million
a year.
Is generated by arts activity just here in Newark alone. So,
John Schreiber, you've been nodding your head pretty vigorously in agreement. Let me get your 2 cents on the matter.
Well, I think the arts are the heart and soul of any great city, and Newark has at its heart an art museum that is one of the world's, not just the country's, but one of the world's great art museums. In Los Angeles, when the Los Angeles Museum of Art was in trouble, Eli Broad, who's a great philanthropist, stepped up and made that museum whole. Art museums don't have the same opportunity that the Prudential Center has or NJPAC has to increase earned revenues by putting shows on sale and getting people to show up. Yeah. Art museums are much more dependent on philanthropy and corporate support. So my great hope is that, the mayor has been so successful in bringing economic development to the city. My hope is in that success, so he will also find success in bringing philanthropy for the arts to the city. When one sits across the table from Cory Booker, it's really hard to say no. So I agree with Linwood. My great hope is that, especially as it relates to the Newark Museum, that some philanthropy can come in to make the museum whole, because without that museum as part of the vital center of the arts universe of this city, we are much, much poorer.
Yes. And if I
Melissa
can add
Walker?
to that, I think, John, to your point, if we stop looking at arts as an isolated activity and see that it is part of the overall solution, and from the education of our young people, the arts need to be they need to be sitting at the table in a robust way. And I think that's that's being lost in this application. And so what I was saying a little earlier is that if you have more kids graduating and more kids going to college,
That's right.
we have more kids coming out with a higher income. If you have more kids that now are voting,
That's right.
young people, and there's a robust, a robust connection to arts engagement, a high level of arts engagement, and the economic activity of the people who come
Absolutely
out.
right.
And so it's really vital that that conversation happen, and I think we're really missing something. And there was a really tremendous study by the NEA in the last year that really pointed. It was a longitudinal study that took in about 4 different organizations and really looked at the achievement. That's what I'm talking, that achievement driver.